All right, we have the damn Design Invictus, this one being made and in Kizer's lineup, guys. I am actually excited to get the chance to check this one out again. Some of your comments about my initial thoughts and impressions had me wanting to actually check this one out again. So this is coming via Kizer. Thank you, Kizer. Shout out to them for letting me check one of these out on my own. And I'm really excited because it'll also mean not only do I get to carry it and handle it longer, but I also will get to do a disassembly for you guys. You know I love doing those. Let's kick it off. All right, so on the table we got the Kizer Towser S, and we got the Militao on here, and as you can see, the damn Design Invictus by Kizer is definitely a full-size button lock 100%. A couple size comparisons, again, real quick, just for reference. Here it is against the Spyderco Para 3 lightweight and the Manix 2 lightweight, and you can see this one is 100% a full-size knife. So closed up here, you can see this is definitely going to carry very deep. This thing hangs off the back, which I thought was an interesting choice for this particular one, and it is going to be full size, so it's going to occupy a lot of pocket space for you with that flipper tab. So just keep that in mind. Let's check out the thickness against these two here. Now it does look like it's going to look thinner, but it is chamfered way out here, so what you want to do is look just past that, and then you'll be able to see the thickness is pretty identical to the Manix 2 lightweight. And then we'll just do the Kizer Militao as well. Kizer Militao, I'm just taking a look past, again, this chamfering, looking at about the same thickness overall. Let's go ahead and grab the scale and check the weight out. All right, we got the scale out here. We're going to check out the Invictus coming in at 4 ounces. It kept climbing there. It was putting on weight before our very eyes, guys. All right, so we are checking the Invictus out again. I, for some reason, thought that they had 2 damn designs on here. So I can spend a little bit more time with it, see if I feel a little bit differently about it the second time around, which is nice. Boy, I tell you though, Kizer's 154 cm and their micarta are no joke. I'm still feeling that pocket clip, so I just don't know that I really like the way that this chamfer is down on the edges. I like the thinness, and again, of course, Kizer's 154 cm, boy, they certainly know how to do that upright. But I do like the thinness. I don't feel the button. I kind of wish they would have done that same pocket clip that they used on the Comet on this one. I think that probably would have worked better. Wow, great cutting geometry, nice thin slicer going through that cardboard really, really well. And, you know, I know this isn't a big cut test on this one, but 154 cm from Kizer is going to do really, really well keeping its edge. Regardless of what you push it through, you're going to see a huge difference between 154 cm, 14C28N, and Nitro V are not going to hold an edge like this one, and it is very, very easy to manage. Let's kick it back up to... All right, so you got to see some cutting before we jump into it. This one's mine, so guess what? Passed all 3 with flying colors. Kizer killing it with the button lock strength. Love to see it. I do 3 open close testing because it's supposed to simulate an accidental spine whacking to test the strength of the lock to make sure that you don't have a concern. If you're batoning with these knives, that is not what they are intended for, guys. These are EDCs. Some of them are going to be able to be used a little bit harder than others, so just keep that in mind. Let's jump into my thoughts and impressions here. So first we're going to talk about their ergos. I will say, like last time, I felt I was a little bit critical on the thickness back here, and I really don't think that it is the thickness of the handle. I think it's just the way that this is designed by Damn Design. It's a really long chamfer, and it makes it feel kind of thin in the hand. So I do have good girth back here to grab onto, and it is comfortable for sure. Don't be confused by that. I didn't get to handle the other one as long. So I feel like it confused me a little bit on how I was feeling about that in hand. But getting to hold on to this one a lot longer, it's very comfortable. I really do like it a lot. This micarta, guys, Kizer just does such a good job with this. I got to feel it on their Militao. I got a Genie recently. I got to check it out on the Comet. and the sheepdog that they did in that denim micarta, and this is just, it's really well done. It's nice. I also love the touch here. You have a micarta filler tab so that when you reverse this, if you're a lefty, you can just flip that on the other side and you have a very clean appearance on your show side scale. It does work very nicely as a lefty too. Like, to me, I love the index on this. Feels very nice, very minimal stick. And I will be honest with you guys, the longer I've had it, the more that stick has started to go away. When we get to the disassembly, I'll make sure that it's nice and clean, so make sure you're tuned in for that. You don't want to miss that. If you're not subscribed, you want to definitely subscribe and turn on your notification bell, because I'll clean up this lock and just make sure that maybe some dirt and debris or oil or anything didn't get on it accidentally during assembly, and we'll be able to confirm that. Plus, it'll give me the opportunity to have this a little bit longer to make sure that it's good and broken in. But the flipper action on here is really, really nice. It's got a nice flipper tab that also guards you from coming too far forward if you're doing poking tasks, puncture tasks with this. A very subtle ram's head here. I think it's a ram's head anyway. You guys can correct me in the comments. Beautiful static wash. Kizer has one of the best static washes out there. I really do love this. You can look back at all of my videos from them. I just really think it's a really nice job of polishing it up and then stone washing when you're done, and it comes out really, really good. You get a little bit of polish, a little bit of reflectivity. I think that classes it up. I like the blacked out hardware on here too. I think that's a nice touch. It makes it feel a little bit more premium and a little bit more upscale to me, as does the matching micarta backspacer to go along with that filler tab. Really nice touches here on this one that go a long way. I like the captive pivot design. It's very interesting and different. It looks really aesthetically pleasing on here. The detent's very solid. I have not missed this flipper tab at all, causing any type of failing. And the lock up is really strong, and it does help to create a very nice detent. What I was getting ready to say, I jumped ahead of myself a little bit, is if you drag and go really slow, that lock strength does push against the actual blade itself, and it does create the drag enough to slow it down. But truth be told, if you're actually giving it any amount of strength whatsoever, it pops and it flies open. And again, when I take it apart and clean it, that could change it all the way. Now, where this thing shines to me is the performance. Again, it felt comfortable in hand, but it has a nice sticky edge on the 154cm. It was biting into everything very nicely. Nice tall flat grind, so I was not feeling any drag going through some of the thicker materials and cuts. And I really just think, again, 154cm is the superior steel at under $100. For me, it's 154cm. VG10, RPM 9, and then 14C28N and Nitro V for your edge retention. Not talking about stainless, not talking about toughness, guys. I'm talking about edge retention. To me, 154cm is tough enough to where I have never experienced it personally chipping on me to where I would say that that gives the advantage to any of the other steels. And for me, it's been very easy to maintain. Barely noticeable jumping around on those four steels that I mentioned earlier to 154cm. So getting that extra edge retention, still having it be stainless. I've never had any of the 154cm that I've encountered rust. And just the performance as far as how it sharpens up, the strength, all of that I really like. My one nitpick just continues to be, I love that they did the button lock here. I just wish maybe they would have cut that a little bit differently, maybe left a little bit more material here, just enough to hide that little hole there. I don't like that, and I don't love that you can see the button lock here. I think those are the only two minor things, and to me, they're minor. Like, it wouldn't be enough to say, don't get this one, or that it's not for me. And I really am glad that I got to spend a little bit more time with this one, because I've really quite enjoyed this one a lot. And again, I think Kizer's come a long way with their button lock. Like, it's really well tuned. It feels comfortable to actuate. It feels good with the detent for deployment. Not super sticky, not hard to push. It has a little grab to it, which I like a little bit of grab, because to me that equates to lock strength. So I really do like that a lot. But being that this is my second review, we're going to flip it over and we're going to take it apart right now. All right, guys. So if you've watched my videos before, I do recommend Weehaw bits and the lube of your choice. Weehaw bits just because I don't want anyone out there to strip their bolts just in case you don't have, a thick enough, sorry, I'm just looking at that, a thick enough, or sorry, deep enough fitted hole there so that the socket fits in there snugly. This pocket clip, trying to determine if that goes all the way through. Is that a 6 or an 8? That's a 6. I'm looking at my bit. I'm like, did I leave a T10 in here recently? Let me just check this really quick and see. I'm going to go ahead and take it out just because I haven't disassembled this one before and I don't want to encounter any issues. If it is in the steel liner, yeah, it's in the steel liner. So glad I did that. Steel bits confirmed. So T6, take your pocket clip out, and this will make sense if you haven't done a disassembly of a button lock yet, and you know the Invictus might be your first. Is that a T6 as well? That is unusual. I think Kizer don't they usually use T8 hardware? So it is T6 hardware on top of the T6 hardware that is on the pocket clip there. I feel like they normally use T8, but maybe I'm remembering wrong. So nice, very snug. Don't think that there's a little bit of thread locker on there. They use the appropriate amount. And again, the reason that I do it this way is because I don't want the spring to come out before I'm ready for it. And again, we did confirm that the steel nested liner here does have those pocket clip screws in it. So let's go ahead and finish up the disassembly. Very snug fitting here, guys. It is resting on the pivot and the stop pin very snugly. So just be patient and try to work this up the best way that you can. I can feel it starting to move. It is almost off. Oh my goodness. It is on that stop pin. Sorry if I'm shaking the camera. The titanium pry bar, guys. It's hooking on that stop pin. Let me go ahead and move the spring out of the way. I don't want to lose that. I am going to go ahead and just try to work it up a little bit here. Okay. It is almost off now. Woo! That is snug as a bug in a rug. So that is why I like the titanium pry bars. You can use those without having to worry about damaging anything on the knife itself. And you can work that off, but it was definitely the stop pin that was sticking the most there. So let's take a look just in case anybody out there is interested in looking for a set of skiffs for your knife. We'll go ahead and check that real quick. These look like they're 6mm, guys. I feel like here lately Kizer's knives have really had the 6mm on there, but we're going to verify that. Let me move that. Oh, I can't get that stop pin out of there. That stop pin is like sticky too. Yeah, it is definitely 6mm for sure. And it is 1/16. So 6mm, 1/16 single roll bearings. The pockets are, matched really, really well there. For me, I like the Delrin washers. Delrin bearings, they work really nicely here, so I'm not going to be swapping. All right, so let me just really quick stop to get a picture for the thumbnail. All right, let's go ahead and work on cleaning, and I'll show you how I lube these. So we're going to clean the blade off first, and I will use this particular tool, but you can use any of them to go ahead and clean in here. And truth be told, this knife is very, very clean. If you didn't feel compelled to do the disassembly, I would definitely say that it is not needed so far. Let's see how these Delrin washers come out though. They felt really smooth, guys. They felt really smooth, really smooth. A little bit of dirt. Not too much. A little bit of dirt came off of there. So let me I'm going to drag them across here and make sure that nothing's on the rings and clean the outer. So yeah, you can see a little bit came off, but it wasn't awful. That washer just dropped. Drop. So I'm not sure what they used from the factory on here on the stop pin, but I'm just going to hit that to try to get some of that off and hope that it goes back together a little bit better. And with the nice thing with the Delrins too, you don't have to worry about which way they were facing, or even maybe you guys don't. I'm a little OCD in that regard. I do look at which way they are facing when I put them back in the knife. But with the, back in the knife. With the Delrin, you don't have to worry about that. The direction doesn't matter. Now, I use Hops gun oil, and it is linked down below if you're curious as to what lube I prefer to use. So what I've been doing here lately is just kind of working it in on the finger as opposed to directly on the washer itself, on the bearing itself. And I like to do that because it makes sure that there's no excess oil that leaks out onto the micarta. So I really do appreciate that, doing it that way anyway. And then what I'll do, oh, you know what I forgot? I forgot to put just a drop on the pivot itself. So we'll do that and work that in as well. And actually, I'm just going to do that here as well. Just a little bit of coat off of the hand, make sure it's not on my fingers. Now we can drop the blade on there. And just be careful. This blade is really sharp, and I kind of felt it touching my finger just a little bit there. So I'm going to take what's left here. And again, I'm just working it in. The washers feel, I mean, the bearings. So why do I keep saying washers? The bearings feel really good. They feel really good, guys. They definitely are rolling around nicely on the fingers. And with these, you don't need to put a ton of pressure on there. They should, snug up pretty much like what you saw when I took it apart. Should be good to go. Now here's where the fun begins. One of the things that I'm going to recommend to you, yeah, this will definitely break in. They did polish it, but it is also coated. So this, as you use it, is going to break in nicely. You can see that is probably where we were getting our grittiness from, is that there was a little bit of the coating wearing off and creating a little bit of a layer. So you may want to do this again in a few months when you've broken it in more. But at this point here, you should be able to, I think we did this backwards. I think it came in, did it drop in this way? Yeah, I think it dropped in this way. Yeah, there we go. So everything is seated now where you need it to be, including that washer. Did I not drop that washer on there? I thought I dropped it on there. And from here, it's relatively easy. You're just reassembling it. The nice thing here is you'll be able to see that, and actually you can do that after you get the button and pivot and everything lined up. So now it's just, oh, there you go. It fell like right into place, guys. Right into place. Now, yeah, it's right into place. I was just making sure. I was like, that felt a little funny, but it dropped right on in. And then from here, you're just making sure that you can feel the spring kind of go in that hole. And I think we just felt it drop. Yep, dropped in there nicely. What I'm going to do is just take the pivot first. And what it's doing, it's pushing the button on the other side as I push down. So I'm going to snug this up. And then what that'll allow me to do is lift it up so you can see the rest. Okay, so that is snug. So now you can see me put the rest of the knife together. Yeah, it feels good. Feels good. Yep. All right, T6. We're going to put this guy back in here. That way you guys can see what I'm doing. Yep, goes right in there. Gosh, man, the construction on this is so well done. Kizer did a great job bringing this design to the market. So the longer one definitely goes through, but again, if you're disassembling it the way that I took it apart, you're definitely going to want to make sure that you remove both of these so that you can get down. Hold on, what's going on? There we go. So that so that you can get down to the spring and not have that spring jump out on you. Probably should pay attention to what I'm doing instead of trying to make eye contact to talk to you guys. Let's see. Yep. So that feels good. Now that that's in there good. That is snug. That is snug. Did I check this all the way through, guys? I don't remember. Yep, that's snug. All right, let's see here. Back it out a little bit. I feel like it's too tight. All right, feels good. Centered. No side to side play. It's not dry. Oh, there we go. Oh, yeah. And the stick has gone away a little bit as well. All right, let me clean it up and we'll wrap it up. All right, guys, there you go. Full review or re-review, but it's actually a more in-depth review because I got to have this one a little bit longer, and then I was able to do the disassembly, give you guys skiff size if you were interested in that one. But this is a really awesome model. I'm glad I got to check it out and spend a little bit more time with it. And you know, the construction is really good. Kizer did a fantastic job. Let me know what you think about the Invictus down in the comments below. Hope the disassembly helped you. If you enjoyed all of this and hung out with me to this point, thank you. It helps the algorithm. So does the comment and watching additional videos. Leave a like, consider subscribing. Thank you to my channel members. That extra layer of support that you provide is really appreciated. It helps the channel keep going forward. I hope all of you have a fantastic week, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.